Hello, my name is John Rose, and this is my little girl Sienna, who's already getting restless over here. Anyway, I'm getting ready to eat the first part of my second meal of the day. My first meal is usually a mono meal of nothing but mangoes like I had this morning. And my second meal will be about half or so of the amount of mangoes I had originally, and then a big salad. And I'm going to go ahead and do something I normally don't do. Usually I go for a bike ride, I come home, and then I eat the mango salad combination, or the mono meal, fruit and a salad to follow that. I eat my fruit, and then I go in there and start making my salad. By the time the salad's ready, my fruit's already on its way out. It's not a problem. Today I'm going to change things up. I'm about a half an hour away from home, and to keep me from having to eat so late, I'm going to go ahead and eat the part one of that meal now. So normally I would, let's say if I was to eat on the hour, the fruit, at half the hour I'd be eating a salad. This time around, because I'm going to add a slight bike ride in between there as I go home, I'm going to eat on the hour approximately, supposedly. Of course now it's 6:45, so it's not on the hour, but if it was on the hour, then instead of eating the salad at the half hour, had I been at home, it'd be at the hour. So it's a little bit different. It'll still work the same way. The concept here is when you use this type of food combining concept, you eat the water-rich foods first to make sure they don't get backed up and they don't ferment and turn to alcohol. So all I want to mention today is ideally what I like to do is usually have about 6 hours in between my meals. So my first meal today was at 11:30. Now we're at 6:45, so that's a little over 7 hours. I like to leave at least 4 hours minimum, 4 or 5 minimum in between my meals to make sure my food gets a chance to get digested, which is the reason why I don't ever snack. Now, tonight, I already know I don't have enough greens to make a really big man salad when I get home, so what I'll probably do to compensate for that is have about 2 ounces of Brazil nuts afterwards, which would be about the size of a handful of nuts for a woman. My hand holds about 3 ounces worth, so it's going to not quite be a handful, but that's a good rule of thumb if you're going to add nuts or seeds to your diet. No more than a handful is a good rule of thumb. And I'll do that at the end of my salad. Now again, if I had more greens to put in my salad, I would make a bigger salad, but I don't have all the makings to make a real big salad, so it's going to be maybe about 60% of what I normally would eat in my salad. And I'll be using avocados and lemon juice as my salad dressing, along with some Himalaya salt. I like to add those main seasonings. I have a link down below on making raw food salad secrets, making sure you blend certain flavors together. And I also have a video on how I make my big salads. So you can modify that slightly. You'll get an idea of what my second meal will look like today. And now I'm going to go ahead and share this mango with my little girl, with you guys. I'll fast forward, and if I have anything worthy of saying, I'll conclude with something. If not, when you learn to eat simple, the simpler meal, the better you feel. When you can do that, my friends, you're in for a treat. In case you've never seen barehanded eating yet, this is the first video you've seen. That's what I'm doing, my mangoes. So there's a chance I might not have fast forwarded like I said I was going to, like I did in my other video, because I ended up saying something I thought you need to hear. Okay, slowing it back down. I just finished the first part of my second meal. As I mentioned earlier, I usually eat those kind of back to back when I'm at home, and I would go ahead and start making my salad right now, and it'd take me a while to make it, and then I'd go ahead and finish eating that. The only thing different this time around is I'm about 30 minutes away from home, and I'm gonna casually bike very easily so I don't overwork my stomach. or at least my legs rather, so my stomach can have some blood to digest this food. Of course, it'd be very easy to digest. What I just ate is going to be very easy. It'll be empty in my stomach very quickly. And by the time I get home, I'll go ahead and make me a salad, and it's going to be considerably smaller than what I normally make. I usually use about 3 pounds of leafy greens. This time I'm going to have about 1.5 pounds. So to make up the difference, I'm going to have just a small amount of Brazil nuts. They're one of my favorite nuts of all to eat. And that's pretty much it in this little quick episode. As I mentioned again earlier, I ideally try to eat like 6 hours apart. So a good time period for me to eat, if I was to be more rigid and not as flexible as I am now, I'd be like at 11 and a 5 or 11 and a 6. But when the weather changes, I like to be flexible, and I'm not as rigid in my eating as I have been in the past. We can, oh look out, oh look at that. We can almost get over analytical and anal about all of that stuff, and we sure don't want to do that, do we, little girl? So what else can I say in this video? I guess one thing I would like to add, it's really important to understand the bowel transit time of our food. The way I'm eating right now, this food is out of me. I read an article this morning about a new study come out that's linking strenuous exercise to the leaky gut syndrome. And they said, look what we found. These people, they did a study with these guys. They had them ski 31 miles in 4 days with 99-pound backpacks on. I guarantee you these people had a leaky gut. It wasn't because of the exercise, because of all that extra food they ate. So who is suspect of having a leaky gut? All you big eaters. So you people who exercise a lot and you think you're immune to getting sick because you exercise so much, you might be fooling yourself. And I was a good example. I had a 20-pound cesspool in me because I exercised a lot. I abused my digestive system. So if you're a big eater, there's a good chance you'll have what's called a leaky gut syndrome, where waste matter starts seeping back into our blood. And of course, this study tried to blame everything but the real cause. They said, oh, it's the exercise. I don't think so. I'm pretty convinced it's the amount of food they're eating and the kind of food they're eating. So the food I'm eating right now goes through me very quickly. It's not going to back up in me and damage the colon and have a leaky gut because of it. Remember, the average person has 12 to 15 meals backed up in their intestines because they're eating food that has slow bowel transit time. These mangoes that I ate earlier today and now, they'll be out of me first thing in the morning. So will that salad. So I don't carry around all that extra garbage. So to blame something healthy like exercise on a disease of the colon is a joke. Yeah, there is a connection between people who exercise a lot and colon problems. You bet there is. They're big eaters. I know, I damaged my colon big time. And it's what motivated me to finally say, okay, well, I can't get away with eating the wrong food anymore. I gotta eat the right food. And I'm kind of glad it happened to me. So that's what we want to do. We want to realize that most of the problems we have are really blessings in disguise, provided we can find the truth that we're missing and apply it and then solve that problem. And my friends, when you can do that, you are in for a treat.